currently a graduate student at Grand Canyon University. This course is 501-0101. The professor is Amanda Arrington, and the assignment was due August 12, 2020. As a student at Grand Canyon, I am currently pursuing my Master's of Education in the field of Curriculum and Education. I served for many years as a special education teacher, and I am currently a vice principal. This week, I had the opportunity to review and discuss professional dispositions of learners. To begin, professional dispositions are the values, commitments, and professional ethics that influence behaviors towards students, families, colleagues, and communities that affect student learning, motivation, and development, as well as the educator's own professional growth. The purpose of dispositions is that it should allow educators to implement actionable steps that can lead in purposeful and meaningful way, which will also allow immediate results. So to begin with the question, the dispositions that make me successful as a teacher is that I am passionate, I'm dedicated, and I'm committed to my students. I have also developed a great rapport and relationships with all of my students as well as my staff. My students understand that I have great respect for them and I cherish all of their diversities. All students possess unique qualities that should be recognized and uplifted at all times. I will always be honest and loyal to my students as well as my staff. I will model appropriate behaviors in an effort to glean the same respect from them. My student will hold me as well as I will hold them to high regards and to high standards. I feel that all students can learn given the proper tools and support. In addition, another disposition that I possess is the ability to allow my students a voice, to allow them the opportunity to ask questions, to be creative, and to be critical thinkers. It is very important that you allow your students to think, to allow them to have their own voices and to be heard at all times. My students are never scared to think outside the box. As always, as an educator, you always have to encourage your students to know there's never a wrong question, to always make sure that they are allowed to not only think outside the box, but to be creative and to be unique. As a special ed teacher, I have learned how to provide my students with tailored individual assignments according to their IEPs. Being a special education teacher, I have learned to be fair, non-judgmental to my students, and furthermore, I've also allowed myself to be able to support them and to advocate for them when no one else will. To conclude, I will always conduct myself in a professional manner and will exercise sound judgment and ethical behavior. As an educator, I am also seen as a role model to my students, so I must try to always hold myself with dignity and integrity. Thank you. The dispositions that I feel that I would need to work on to allow me to grow as an educator would be reflection. Reflecting as a teacher or an educator is an important component of learning. As an educator, you must always be in a growth mindset. There are always new ways for you to enhance your teaching and learning practice through innovative ideas. You should always collaborate and allow for yourself to be mentored with other professionals and colleagues. Also, you must also take the time to review and to reflect on what ways that are working and what ways that are not working, in effort to make improvements and set new goals. Reflections can be modeled in a few ways, such as seeking feedback and measuring effective and appropriate feedback. Within the classroom, teachers must allow their students to make mistakes, address those mistakes, and monitor what the students were able to do and what they were not able to do, and provide them with effective feedback in effort to arrange new approaches or new ideas for those students. As a leader, it's very important to be able to provide your teachers with appropriate feedback, so that way you are also able to monitor what the teachers are able to do and what they're not able to do. In regards to reflections and behaviors that are demonstrated, teachers also should monitor and adjust actions when reflecting on practices, avoiding the same behaviors and making new improvements, observing others in practice and learning from experiences. Teachers should also model what they expect their students to be able to do. Ask questions from your colleagues and supervisors. If you're not sure or if you need additional assistance, be able to be comfortable with asking questions and making sure that you understand what you're not able to do or what you can enhance on. And also making sure that you provide the time for reflecting, whether it's at the end of the day, whether it's before your day starts. Just provide yourself with that time so you could allow yourself to be able to grow and make changes. Thank you. What do I feel a professional educator looks like, and how do I feel that they behave? What are the standard guides that they think, and what are their actions? Well, professional educators conduct themselves in a professional manner. They display a positive attitude, and they hold their students to high expectations, or they also hold their teachers to high expectations. As a professional educator, you must be dressed appropriately for teaching and learning. This will be modeled for your students, so they also understand what's acceptable dress attire when they're coming to school. You must also display a positive attitude when you are conducting yourself in the classroom or when you're dealing with your teachers. You must also work on having a great demeanor and also provide your students with great vibes when you're in the classroom. The students should be able to see your rapport, and they should be able to see how excited you are for learning and for teaching. An educator will often create a rigorous curriculum that is adaptive and culturally relevant. They demonstrate a mutual respect and rapport for their students. An effective educator also displays patience and caring personalities toward their students. A great professional will also engage in their students' learning. Always reflect and monitor what they want their students to be able to do. They also monitor their progress and efforts to see progress and gain student growth and student achievement. Professional standards are a set of practices, ethics, and behaviors. They are set to guide their thinking and their actions of a teacher. The standards that provide clarity and expectations are attributes, professional knowledge, and understanding and professional skills. Some of the professional conduct behaviors are as follows. Professionals exhibit professionalism. They are always on time. They take good pride in their attendance. They make sure that they're also coming to work to be able to conduct yourself in a way that the students will see that you care about being there and you care about your attendance. Because if you're there, then the students will be there. They exhibit, and they always exhibit, dedication and commitment. They demonstrate respect for their colleagues as well as their students. They're committed to their students. They're committed to their learning. An effective educator also interacts appropriately and effectively with their students. They are also aware of the student's environment, their home life, their community, as well as they take the responsibility to be accountable. Effective educators will display behaviors where they will also allow their students to know that they are accountable for their learning. They do want to make sure that their students do well on assessments and do well in their classroom. As well as an effective educator will also display behaviors where they are taking an active role in the students' learning, as well as the students' learning communities. And to conclude, they also will take the time to understand the laws and to make sure that they are also following what the law says in terms of the student's education. And also, I would like to just conclude with just stating that as an educator, you must always, always hold yourself to high regards. Students must know that you care about them. They must know that you're here for the right reason. And this is why I actually went into the education field, because I care about my students, I care about my teachers, I care about my staff. Education was a no-brainer for me. I've always wanted to be that educator that wanted to make a difference and provide my students with things that they were probably not going to get from any other person. And this is a profession that only the ones who really want to be here will stay here. I am extremely excited to be in this program. I enjoy seeing the faces of our students and our staff, and this project or this assignment was an eye-opener. I enjoyed learning about what my dispositions were, and I look forward to my journey in this program, my journey as an educator, and I can't wait to see what the future will hold. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Again, my name is Alexandra, and until next time, thank you.